Is the UFC trying to get rid of Darren Till? The latest fight booking he has at UFC 282 might lead us to that conclusion. My name is James Lynch. Before I get into today's video, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Those three things really do help out the channel a lot, and I'm posting content on here every single day. So if you do that, you won't be missing any of the content on this channel. Okay, let's get into it. So the other day, I see that Darren Till has a fight booked against Dricus du Plessis at UFC 282, and my first thought is, this is not a very good fight here for Darren Till, and it kind of led me to believe that maybe the UFC has had enough with Darren Till, and there's a few reasons to think that. Now, we should mention that Darren Till, one of the most popular fighters in the UFC. In fact, they did a whole card in Liverpool a few years ago just because he was on the card and he headlined it against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. They gave him a title shot at welterweight. They've given him a lot of big opportunities here, but do you kind of get the sense now that the UFC has had enough? Maybe they are at that point here, and I'll explain why that is in a second. But let's look at some of the reasons why the UFC might want to get rid of Darren Till. Well, let's start with the fact that he hasn't been healthy in quite some time. When he was very active early in his career, look at this, 3 fights in 2017, couple fights in 2018, 2019, 2020. He has not been that healthy since 2020. Look at all these gray areas here on Tapology. A lot of these have been injuries and a lot of big fights that have not come to fruition because of Till's injuries. Now, there could be a variety of reasons for that. Maybe he's not training properly. Maybe he just has bad luck with injuries. I'm not sure, but Darren Till is starting to get into David Terrell territory. That's an old reference. Go Google UFC and David Terrell. This is a guy that could never stay healthy, and the UFC finally just said they had enough with them. And hopefully he's healthy for this fight, but I have my doubts that he even makes it to this matchup because Darren Till has not been healthy in quite some time. There's that side of it, is that, Darren Till, not very reliable when it comes to fight bookings, and maybe the UFC's had enough of that. The other thing is that Darren Till's gotten in a bit of trouble. Here's something even just from August. Darren Till arrested in Stockholm in July on DUI charges. This isn't the first time he's been in trouble with the law. I could go through a couple of other examples, but Darren Till, not someone that is keeping himself out of trouble, it seems. So there's that reason as well. So those are two big things, is the fact that Till gets injured a lot, he gets in a bit of trouble, and he's not really that reliable. And it's like, what are you really getting from him here? Now, look, the reason I sort of got tipped off that maybe the UFC is trying to get rid of him is because of who he's fighting here. He's fighting Dricus du Plessis. And let's talk about Dricus in a second here. Dricus is 17-2. He's 28 years old, and he's been on a roll. He looked great. I was at his last fight against Brad Tavares at UFC 276. I know Brad's an aging veteran, but that was a really good performance there. Fight before that, he finished Trevin Giles, finished Marcus Perez. I know these are not household names here, but you kind of get the sense that the UFC is very high on Dricus, and this is kind of a fight saying, look, we have a new guy that we like, and you better beat him. And that's kind of the way I look at it. And if you look at Darren Till's matchmaking in the past, these have all been relatively big names. Now, let's forget about the run at welterweight early on. But if you look at basically from Cerrone onwards, all of his opponents have been pretty notable guys here, right? So he gets the fight with Cerrone, and Cerrone, as we know, is sort of hit or miss with this fight. So that was a good win from there. Then he gets the main event against Stephen Thompson in a fight where a lot of people felt like he didn't win. And that was the fight that led to the title fight with Tyron Woodley. What happened in that fight? He gets absolutely destroyed in that matchup and loses his title fight. He then has one more fight at welterweight. He fights Masvidal, and that, of course, went on Masvidal's big run here. But again, even though Masvidal wasn't the Masvidal of 2019 at that time, it was, on the big run that Masvidal went on, so to speak. Masvidal was still somewhat known, and that was somewhat of a decent opponent for him there. But if you look at it, like I said, Masvidal pretty decent. Kelvin Gastelum's a notable opponent. I mean, this is an Ultimate Fighter winner. He got to fight Robert Whittaker, who's one of the best middleweights on the planet. And then he got to fight Derek Brunson, who maybe not a household name, but highly ranked. Brunson has always been in the rankings for the most part since he's been in the UFC. And this is the first time he's fighting. He is fighting a ranked opponent in Dricus, right? If we look at the rankings right here, Dricus is ranked number 13, but he's very low in the rankings compared to Till. Now, there could be an argument made here that Darren Till just needed to fight and there was no one available. Gastelum, I believe, is still injured. Imavov just fought. Tavares, I'm not sure what his status is. He lost his last fight. Chris Curtis just fought Jack Hermanson. So maybe it was just a lack of options for Darren Till. But to me, if the UFC is trying to build Darren Till back up, and clearly that's what they have to do, he's lost, 4 of his last 5 fights. You don't give him a Dricus du Plessis. And maybe this is a case of me overrating Dricus a little bit, but I think Dricus is a very dangerous fighter in that division. I think him and Andre Muniz are two guys to keep an eye on in that weight class. They're very, very up and coming and guys that I think are really going to disrupt this division here. So to me, this is just a bad matchup for Darren Till. Now, can Darren Till win this fight? Absolutely. But I just think this is the first time in a while where we've seen Darren Till fight a not so notable opponent, but a very dangerous opponent here. So it kind of leads me to believe that maybe the UFC is kind of saying, look, we've had enough of you here. You're not getting any big names here. Like, for example, I think if they wanted to build Darren Till back up again, you give him a Brad Tavares. Now, again, maybe Tavares isn't healthy, but you give him someone that's somewhat notable in the division. Like, even, I'm not saying they'd give him Sam Alvey, but someone like that, like a fun veteran where Till can build himself back up. But This to me says that they're giving him a fighter where it's like, look, it's sink or swim time. If you don't beat Drakus, we're going to kick you out of the rankings, and it might not be that much longer that you fight here. So that's my take on this fight. I'll probably do an early look preview on this fight because I do think it's very interesting here. Two really good strikers, two guys that are, you know, very entertaining and good. But obviously, Till is the A side here. He's one of the most popular fighters in the UFC and one of the most popular fighters in the UK for the UFC, which is a market they do love going back to time and time again. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think I'm out to lunch here? I don't know. The second I saw this fight, this told me that the UFC does not care that much about Darren Till anymore. They're giving him a very dangerous opponent. And I'll state the obvious one more time. I realize ranked opponents have to fight ranked guys. I just think this is a bad matchup for Till. And it's the first time he's fought a guy that isn't highly ranked. And there could be a lot of danger for him losing this one. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Lynch on Sports. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Lynch on Sports. I'm James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.